almost stopped it. If it hadn't been daylight, I wouldn't have been able to finish watching it with you not home.
Today we're going to discuss Relic, which is part of our Natalie Erika James Director Spotlight Week.
I'm excited this week.
To starting it off, this is a very dark, moody...
haunted house type thing.
Yeah, haunted house kind of movie.
It's right up my alley.
It's got a really, really good story.
It's a story that can, hit close to home, I think, for several people.
Yeah, we both kind of have the unique experience of watching this one when it very first came out in 2020 and liked it as like a good haunted house movie.
Yeah, it's got some creep factor for sure.
Yeah, and then rewatching it for the Spotlight, between then and now, we actually lost some grandparents, which puts a very different spin on the movie, or it plays very, very differently. In a good way, like you get some of the more of the nuance and some of the layers that are built into it that we didn't necessarily pick up the last
I think
time.
maybe take a different meaning from it too, instead of just watching it with just terror.
Yes, it starts out basically it's a mother going to meet a grandmother and take care of her because she's gotten a call from some people that are around the grandmother saying that she's missing. They haven't seen her in a while. So the mother and granddaughter go check on her, and it kind of goes from there. Like there's some very dark things going on in the house as they're kind of digging in and stuff. And they're dealing with the grandmother. Obviously, she's starting to have memory issues. There's notes around the house, and so they're dealing with that, and they're dealing with the grandmother seeing things and saying there's a presence in the house and stuff like that. And that's when it starts to get this very creepy vibe.
Yes, it escalates.
Yeah, in a very, very good way. And there's some really good scares along the way, I think. Not only just this like creepiness, the whole time, because there's this mold that you see in the house.
I kept calling it mold because, it looks like black mold.
Yeah, and it's kind of, you see it's kind of growing in the house and stuff.
Yes, and then noises. They're noises like you hear every night in your own home. And I sit there and go, what was that? And you're like, it was the house just settling or, something. So it has all that to where you're like, is it just an older house that creaks? Or is there something behind that?
And another layer of that is with the grandmother's, kind of mental decline. It's like, is this a real thing, or is it
all in her imagination?
Yeah. So there's a layer there of kind of what's going on.
Mm-hmm. But then, things happen.
We figure out
as they do in these movies, and it leaves it up for no questions.
So we've talked about it on here before, that movies that are one movie in the beginning and a different movie at the end, good or bad. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. Yeah. This one is a little bit that way, but it's in a more organic way. It naturally flows into a different movie where it's like it's very psychological, and then it very much goes into there's this external danger
that everybody's aware of, not just the one person.
And it does it in a really, really good way.
Yeah, and the acting was very good. I don't know if they're practical effects. I think it seemed like they were practical effects. Whew.
This director, that's known for saying she's very much practical effects with a little bit of visual effects just to touch up those things, like to enhance it.
It works.
It's mostly
that stuff looks real. I mean, this movie, as soon as you start watching it, to me, it already has a built-in fear, because I think everybody has a slight fear of getting dementia when they get older and not remembering the people you love, or the home you've lived in for a long time. And I'm not going to get emotional on the channel, but, it could be scary.
Yeah.
And then when you've had family members that you've watched that happen to, you're already scared as soon as you start watching the movie. And then they just throw in the, horror movie aspect of it. And it's like, whoo, it got me.
Yeah, they do a lot of things really, really well that way, especially with the family and the family dynamic and the way that the mother interacts with the grandmother and the way the granddaughter interacts with the grandmother. It's very different.
And the mother is the grandmother's daughter.
Yes.
We'll just say that.
Yeah.
It's a mother and daughter who come and check on the grandmother.
It's just so well written from that perspective. It's all completely understandable. You know exactly where everybody's coming from in this kind of difficult situation, right?
Right.
And it's all very, very believable, and there's a lot of heart to it.
It is. I love how she told the story, and you saw how everybody deals with it.
Yeah.
And they deal with it in their own way. Not always great.
Yeah.
But everybody's human. You know, everybody deals with things in their own way every day.
I think that's one of the really, I'll say, brilliant things about the movie is that it can play two different ways. If you've never had any kind of experience that you can relate to this movie, it's a full-on horror movie.
Yes.
And it's a good haunted house horror movie.
Yes.
But if you've experienced something like that, you can take away from it something very different and still just as good.
Yeah. To me, it's then even more than just a horror movie.
Yeah. Okay, before we get into spoilers, what would you rate this one?
I say this one is a full price. It's the only reason it's not a buyer is it's slightly heavy for me with our experiences, but it's scary, had me jumping. We happened to watch it at different times because of our schedules this week, and you were gone for like when it really got scary, and I almost stopped it. If it hadn't been daylight, I wouldn't have been able to finish watching it with you not home because I was getting so scared.
That's funny that you say it that way, because I'm going to give it a buyer for the exact same reason. because of that, it has those two different layers to it. I think that's done so well story wise, and that it can be viewed two different ways. I think that's just really great. And I think it's one that I could actually watch more than once, just even as from a horror perspective. It's just a good haunted house movie, and it's just got a bunch of layers to it. So
I know, well, because you'd already watched it, you know, when I wasn't here, and then I was going to watch it, and you're like, well, if you wait, I'll watch it again.
Yeah.
You know, so that makes sense that it's a buyer. So for those of you that would like to check it out, which we strongly encourage you to, it is currently streaming on Shudder or AMC Plus. So go check it out.
Want to get into spoilers?
Yes.
Okay. If you want to go into Relic fresh, then pause here, and once you've seen it, come back, check out our spoiler section. Otherwise, check out some of our other videos. Okay, so you want to talk about some of those scary moments that really got you?
Yes. So the very, very beginning of the movie, you see the grandma at the house with the water running from the bathtub, and she's standing there in the living room staring at a Christmas tree. And the Christmas tree lights are one of those that blink, which your mom's does that. And so it, you know, blinks and it's dark and blinks, and then there's just like a person standing there, like a dark, shadowy figure. So that already got me like, ooh, like immediately prepares you for what it's going to be. This is going to be a movie of look behind the person, because you're going to see stuff, you know? And those to me are the scariest.
Yeah.
Then when I full on jumped was once the daughter and the granddaughter show up. The granddaughter's like going through the grandma's closet, and there's like laundry clothes, you know, with the plastic bags like you got from the dry cleaner.
Yeah.
And it looks like they're breathing to me. Like someone's in the bag, because the bag's like going like is the way I saw it. And I was like trying to hide myself, like what's about to happen. And then she just goes whoosh, real fast, you know, and moves it. And that got me. It's one of those like cat in the closet thing, but there was nothing there. But I jumped so hard.
See, when I saw it, I thought it looked more like there was like a breeze coming through. And so like there was something on the other side. And so when she opened it, like there was that mold there.
Yeah, on the wall, but it was just a wall.
Yeah.
Well, either way, then there's the scene with the washing machine, where again, this poor granddaughter, she's hearing this like don't. I mean, it's loud.
Yeah, it's not like they had like shoes or something in there. Yeah.
Which I was so afraid, because in the beginning it was saying that she's still putting out food for Rover or whatever the animal's name was. I don't know if it was a cat or dog or what. I was like, oh no, please don't tell me that the dog or the
Yeah.
animal's in there. Nothing's in there. It's just, she goes to investigate this loud noise, and it's the washing machine. It's a stackable one. And the one on the bottom, which I think is the washing machine, is open. And it's the dryer that's going. And it's just, don't, you know? And she's like, when she goes to leave, the washing machine door slams shut. And it was so loud. I don't think you were here, or maybe you were on a call. I screamed out loud, which I always feel silly when I'm watching something, and especially by myself. I'm like, oh God, did anybody hear? I'm like,
I heard you say something. I didn't ever hear you scream, but I heard you say stuff.
oh,
Like, so it may have been one of those times.
you saw something else also in that scene that I completely missed, probably out of fear.
When she turns around, right before the lid falls, you see the closet next to it. The door slowly starts like opening.
See, that stuff creeps me out so bad.
I know there's one part that started to get you kind of like a claustrophobic part, but maybe a little bit of setup so it kind of explains it. So that black mold that's in the house is slowly like growing in the house and kind of like taking over the house and on the grandma.
I was about to say, it's also on the grandma.
Yeah, so it starts on her chest and it's just going worse and worse, and she starts like when it finally escalates and gets bad, like she's getting a knife and like cutting at it, and but as that's happening, she had said earlier, like, I feel like this house is getting bigger and bigger.
Since her husband had passed away.
Well, since her husband had passed away, but it actually is. And the granddaughter goes into that same closet where it like that scared you, and she pulls the thing back, and now the house is bigger.
Yeah, it's like a whole nother hallway with furniture.
And so she goes in there and starts getting the walls start changing. And so she can't get out.
And of course, all she has is a flashlight on her phone. And like when she turns back around to go back, that's just a blank wall. She can't get back out of the closet.
And I don't know if you noticed this, like, you know, she starts like banging on the wall, and it'll show the other side where you can hear it. There was earlier when they were looking for the grandma, and the mom was looking around and could hear the knocking.
Yes.
That was the grandma lost in the house.
That's what I thought.
Yeah.
And she finally found her way out. But yeah, so when the granddaughter's back there and those, you know, trying to find her way out, the hallways start to close in on her, and it's like they get smaller and smaller. I got claustrophobic with that and had to look away because I was like, in those moments, I feel like I can't breathe, even though I'm in an open room, you know?
That's the cool thing about it. She has so many different types of horror, like this kind of claustrophobic part, like, or even just getting stuck inside this house that you can't get out of, and this kind of gross mold. And there's a little bit of body horror with the grandma. So
little bit.
The way it I can explain the ending a little bit. It does start taking her over, and so she goes. I don't want to say like she gets mean and starts like attacking them, and because it's just like she's got stuff all over, and she's even like stabbed herself in the face.
Oh yeah, there's like a knife, and it's just like she's sitting on the ground with her back to her daughter, and she's like, "Mom." And she turns around
and like has it
in her cheek.
Yeah,
because she's, you know, it's like taken over, like you said.
And she's like running like on the like.
Then while she's running, that grandma's calf snap, and that bone comes right out of her calf, or like the side of her leg. And then it's always sharp and jagged.
Yeah, and doesn't she like do that and like kind of goes back in? Yeah, that's kind of the climax is. The grandma's chasing the two through this kind of labyrinth of a house. They break through into the regular house, and she's attacking them, but they kind of overcome her.
Yes.
And they go to run and leave, and the mom's like, I can't leave her. Yeah. So that's come back, gets her, takes her upstairs.
Which this part is sweet, but it's also gross. But then sweet.
Yeah, and it's like...
Which is just a brilliant way to do it, I think.
It's so there's just like skin there at that point, like where it's taking her over, and she peels off all of her skin.
Yeah, because there's like big gaps where the skin has like opened,
and you just see black. Mm-hmm. And so when she peels off like all of her skin, she's just kind of this frail, completely black.
Yeah, scalp, face, hair, gets rid of it. It peels it all off like a snake.
Like old and frail, but very childlike.
Yes.
Too. And so then she just lays in the bed with her, and then the granddaughter comes back and lays in the bed.
Right.
And then when she sees that, she looks at her mom, and her mom has like a little bit of that.
Like it started on the mom.
Yeah.
And I took it as in, it's like the grandma's now a shadow of herself, because that's how she feels.
Yeah.
Because she can't remember things and things are getting lost from her. And she's talking about that throughout the movie because of her condition. That I look at that as she's a shadow of herself. And I think, like you said, it's the daughter accepting this is who my mother is now, and I'm going to take care of her, which is just like so sweet. And like,
yeah, because the daughter in the first parts of the movie, which is why I say they do it so well, is she was very defensive. She got very upset with her mom. She was like, "Why are you doing this? What's going on?" And there's a lot of frustration there, and which again is completely understandable. This is a different person. You're dealing with this changing person that you love, and so I viewed it as her kind of, when she's pulling the skin away, she's like getting rid of all that. And is finally like empathetic.
Right. Oh, see, this is great when a horror movie can like emote this.
Yeah, just overall, just a great movie.
Yeah.
Like layered, great horror movie.
It'll scare you for sure.
Yeah.
I think. Yeah, I really, really enjoyed it. So I'm looking forward to the next movie we're going to watch of hers.
Yeah, there'll be Apartment 7A, which is kind of her moving from, like, say, like a very personal movie to this is kind of like a big studio movie, which is a prequel to Rosemary's Baby.
The Demon Baby.
Yep.
Okay. So what did you think of Relic? Did you find it spooky and creepy just like we did? And did it touch you in a personal way? Let us know in the comments.
Thanks for joining us today. And remember, around here, the fear is family.
Thanks for watching this episode. If you enjoyed it, hit like and subscribe. And tune in next time to The Fear Review, where the fear is family.